BookBub itself, if you can get a slot in it, is fantastic still.
What exactly is BookBub for those unfamiliar? For those unfamiliar, what exactly is BookBub?
So BookBub is essentially it's a mailing list. You sign up for it and you're on their mailing list. And when you sign up, you can choose what genres you like and how often you want to hear from them. And so usually, like I get an email every morning, I get an email from BookBub telling me what deals they have that are in science fiction and fantasy and other, mystery things I like. And these are all authors who are selling their books for like 99 cents for that day. And you'll get, I think, at most 10 in your email. So it's very difficult to get one of those spots.
Really?
Okay. There's huge amount of competition, thousands and thousands, if not tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people trying to get one of those little slots. And they're expensive. It's based on the genre. So some genres, if you were in the romance genre, you could be paying maybe $1,000 for that one little blurb for a one email for one day.
Wow.
For me, it's about $500, and it's all around the world. But for it's almost $500, I think, for the supernatural suspense is what they call the genre that a lot of my books fall into. They have, I think it's 1.8 million people in that genre. And even though it's only out for that one day, I sold usually sell about 2,000 copies. So I'm selling it for only 99 cents. That's the deal. Oh. So I'm only getting 35 cents for it. But you do the math real quick and you'll see that I have made my money back and then some. And if you do it right, you have a series. So I'm doing this promotion for the first book of my series, and before the day is out, there are people who read voraciously, and they scoop it up these deals in the morning. By the end of the day, they're buying the rest of the series. And over the next week or two, you see even more sales of your series go up, and then over the next couple months, and you end up building the fan base that way. It used to be, when it first came out, it was massively powerful, and that really helped kickstart my career because you can also promote something that's absolutely free, which I did. And in the one day, there were 30,000 downloads in 24 hours.
Wow.
And at that time, I only had 2 other books in the series, and both of them within a day went from selling like 1 or 2 a day to selling 100 and some each day at full price. So I way more than made my money back. And then I built lifelong fans that way. But back then, the long tail of it, that, selling 10 to 20 a day off those other books went on for like weeks. Now it's like a day and a half, and then you're back to your regular sales. But you'll still see an overall, I figure if on average I can see my monthly average increase by maybe 1 or 2 books a month, per day per month, then I know that I've picked up some big fans that way.
Okay.
And you get word of mouth. I mean, it's just massively powerful. But I've been doing this for about 7 years now, and I've averaged about 1 a year, and the second they reject one, I just send in another one.
Wow.
So it's really hard, to get them. Some of it's timing. It depends on the genre. Some genres are easier to get into than others. It used to be very easy because there wasn't as much competition, but then the big boys found out. So all the big companies do it as well. And it's still worth. It takes what, a minute maybe to fill out the little thing to send it in. So couple minutes, every month or so, and once in a while you get that, sure, we'll do it. And you're like, great. And
sounds like everybody's flooding them.
Oh yeah, they're extreme. It's extremely difficult, and they are very picky. They part of the reason they've been very successful is that the people who, I mean, they were first, which helped, but the people who subscribe to it know that they're getting, that this stuff has been somewhat vetted. And it's not, nobody's going to pick up my book at BookBub and read it and say, oh, this is good. But they do check out your cover. They do check out your Amazon page. They look through your reviews, and they probably do read a sample, or, start to read the sample to see if you can write. So very little crud gets through.
Okay. So basically a vetting service as well as a mailing list.
Well, yeah, and that's important because there are tons of newsletter services like this out there, but many of them will just, first of all, they only cost you like $5. Oh. And, and you'll get like 100. It's just, they'll take anybody. And I've tried, back in the beginning, I would try all of them, and I quickly realized that while BookBub is the only one that's the real one that's worthwhile, and there's a couple others that the other big one is Robin Reads, which is just, compared to BookBub, it's like a whale versus a little minnow, but they're a minnow compared to a bunch of plankton, which everybody else is. They actually do a really good job, and they'll take practically anybody. They have some minimum requirements, I think, of number of reviews and things like that, but otherwise they'll take just about anybody. But it's still really hard. You have to plan like months in advance to get a slot because they just fill up quickly.